petrol and diesel is going through the roof. And even though these people with electric cars are looking rather smug right now, they have to contend with electricity prices too. Now, I'm not particularly interested in cars. They do not excite me in any way. I have to have a car to move my kids about and get to a few places that I need to go because I live in a kind of semi-rural area. I know that buying fuel is just part of the parcel of car ownership, but I do object to spending too much on filling it up. And we've all noticed the significant increase in price. I saw some data recently that said that this time last year, fuel prices were around the sort of £1.14, £15 mark. And now we are nearing the £2 mark. There's one garage round the corner from me that's definitely thinking about nudging over the edge, so I don't think it'll be too long until this becomes the norm. Now, if you're the sort of person that you needs to use their car either for work or you rely heavily on it to get around, then this could hit your budget hard. So today I thought I'd share with you some top tips for saving money on this cost. So let's jump straight in. So tip number 1 is to look for the cheapest fuel in your area. Now, I am not saying that you should drive 20 miles down the road just because they're like 2p cheaper. You need to work out what's going to be cost efficient for you. But if you're going to pass 2 petrol stations on your way home, you want to know which one's going to have the cheapest fuel. Now, luckily, you don't have to drive around your entire city to find the cheapest fuel prices. There are some great apps out there that would do this for you. So Confused.com has a section about petrol prices. You can put in your postcode and it will tell you where the cheapest fuel is near you. However, this isn't always the most accurate. And actually, there is a better solution. There is an app or a website called Petrol Prices, so it doesn't matter which one you use, and this tends to give a more accurate reflection of the petrol and diesel prices in your area. So you can use this when your tank's starting to get low without having to do all of the driving around. You might find that a tiny detour on your way home or on your way to work will save you at least a few pence, if not a few quid, on the total cost of filling up your car. Other people who use the app Waze, which is a navigation app, have recommended using this app for looking for petrol prices too. It's not the easiest to find within the app, therefore you might want to go for the more easy option and look at something like petrol prices instead. And don't worry, if you want the links to these, they are in the description below. So number 2 is to use a loyalty card. Now, I'm not going to sit here and recommend that you buy petrol purely based on the fact that you have a loyalty card. I don't recommend this for any of your spending. It's always better to look for the cheapest price first and then use a loyalty card as a bonus. But many supermarkets, for example, have loyalty cards that also mean you can gain points for filling up your car at the fuel station. This means that you can get some money off later, if not on your fuel, also on your things like your grocery shopping or your other expenditure. Some petrol stations themselves actually have their own loyalty schemes, and it might be worth signing up to those if they are regularly the cheapest option in your area. Like I said, they're not necessarily going to save you loads of money, but they might give you a nice little discount later on. Number 3 is think about the weight of your car. So heavier cars are going to need more fuel. Now you might be sitting there going, well, Charlotte, I'm not about to chuck the rear seats out and completely strip the thing back. And I completely agree with you there. But now could be the time to remove some of that junk that is sitting in your boot. Now, if you're like me, you've got a boot full of things like buckets and spades, maybe an inflatable, like the willies from winter, and various cardies and things like that, and they're all just knocking about in your car somewhere. All of this will mean that it requires more fuel to actually keep it going and maintain speed. Some people also recommend not overfilling your car because actually the weight of the fuel itself is quite heavy and could make your car less economical. So you might want to think about only half filling your car to reduce the amount of fuel weight that your car is lugging about. Number 4 is look after your car. Like I said, I am not interested in cars. Like the thought of doing stuff with my car just stresses me out, and I just do not want to engage in that at all. It is something that is going to keep your car running as smoothly and as efficiently as possible. Now, aside from some of the potential fuel savings, you could save yourself a repair bill if you just constantly keep your car well maintained. So this means making sure that your tyres are in good condition and they're inflated. Make sure you're checking things like the oil regularly. Do the service as and when it is needed. You're probably watching this if you actually understand cars and thinking this woman has no idea what she's talking about. And this is why I actually make the effort to take it to someone who knows what to do. Keeping your car maintained like this will ensure that it is running at its best possible performance and therefore using fuel efficiently. It might not be the most enjoyable thing in the world, but if it saves you a few pence, it's probably worth it in the end. Number 5, now you could consider purchasing your fuel on a cashback credit card. So I'm not encouraging you to get into debt, but I am thinking about other ways that you could save some money on your costs overall. So I have been using a cashback credit card for years now, probably like 10 years, something like that. And what this means is that anytime I purchase anything, I get 1% back on that spending. This also includes fuel. So whenever I'm purchasing fuel for my car, I'm getting some cash back on that. Now I pay that balance off every month, so I'm not maintaining that balance. So I'm not paying interest on it. But I do get the benefit of that cash back once every year. Now I put most of my fuel and food spends and kind of most discretionary spending on this card, and I get in the region of £200 to £300 back every year. So number 6 is to use your car less. Now I know that for some people that this isn't an option, and actually I feel like we've got our car usage down to pretty much the minimum it can possibly be. But I know there are still probably times when you jump in the car instead of lacing up those boots, or perhaps there are times when you choose the easy option of driving in your own car rather than doing a lift share. Well, now's the time that maybe you take some of that discomfort or less convenient options to save some money. So like I say, this could mean getting your bike out, walking instead, or lift sharing with someone who's going in a similar direction to you. Now, if you'd like to consider more about lift sharing, then you can try a couple of websites. So the first one is called LiftShare and the second one is called BlaBlaCar. Again, both of the links are in the description below. If you are looking for someone to lift share with, then this could be a great option to find people in your area that can give you a lift, or perhaps you could give them a lift and you could reduce your fuel costs. Like I say, each one of these things on their own isn't going to save you a fortune, and there is a much bigger issue here, and that is the price of the fuel itself. However, if you want to be proactive about reducing your fuel costs, then hopefully some of the tips in this video can help. If you have any more, please leave them in the comments below. Whilst you're there, don't forget to hit subscribe so that you can see my future videos on how to save money, make money, and just be better financially educated. A big thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.